Kingsman, The Secret Service. Kingsman, The Secret Service was released in 2014 and is directed by Mathew Vaughn. Mathew Vaughn also directed Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class, two movies I think are absolutely fantastic. And he also directed this Kingsman movie and Kingsman, The Golden Circle. So here is my review for Kingsman, The Secret Service. Kingsman, The Secret Service, like I said, was released in 2014 and directed by Mathew Vaughn. And the film stars Egerton, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, Michael Caine, Mark Hamill is in this film, aka Luke Skywalker, Edward Holcroft, Sofia Boutella, as well as Samuel Jackson as the big bad villain in this film, known as Valentine. And basically, this film has two plots that go, which, weave in and out of each other and come together in the third act of the film. Basically, the main plot of the film revolves around the character Eggsy. And as we see at the start of the film, Eggsy's father is part of the Kingsman Secret Service. The Kingsman Secret Service is a British secret service which is top secret, hence the name of the film, Kingsman, The Secret Service. Eggsy's father is part of the Kingsman. He is a Kingsman in the Kingsman Secret Service. And basically, we see at the start of the film, his father is on a mission and his father sadly dies on that mission. So Eggsy loses his father at a very young age. Jump to 17 years later, and now Eggsy is all grown up, and he's now played by Taron. In 17 years later, his mom is now in an abusive relationship, and at the same time, Eggsy isn't living in a dodgy part of Britain. He's one of those people which, if you saw, you wouldn't really think anything of him. He's one of those people which people don't think he can achieve much. However, Colin Firth's character sees something in him, so he recruits Eggsy, played by Taron, to trained to become a Kingsman. Whilst at the same time we get this plot going on with Valentine played by Samuel Jackson. And basically he's coming up with this end of the world plot to implant microchips into people's necks so that when these microchips are activated, people will fight each other and ultimately kill each other. And here's the thing about Valentine. He is the big bad villain in this film, played by Samuel Jackson, which by the way is awesome within itself. But here's the thing with the character. He's a big bad villain in the film, but he hates blood. And he hates killing people, and he hates watching people die. That is just so awesome. But yeah, and so ironic as well. But basically, yeah, he has a big end of the world plan where basically he's been convincing loads of famous people, loads of queens and prime ministers and so on and so on and so on to get these microchips in their necks, as well as general people, as well as people in general, to get these microchips in their necks so that when he activates the microchips, people will turn on each other. And basically at the same time, with Eggsy training to be a Kingsman, and basically Colin Firth's character weaves in and out of both plots. The Kingsmen are trying to stop Valentine's plan, and Colin Firth's the Kingsman who is sent to try and stop Valentine's plan. Also at the same time, Colin Firth's character is making sure Eggsy is training well to become a Kingsman. These storylines keep weaving together, and in the third act of the film, they actually come together in a very, very good way. And basically that's a plot of Kingsman, The Secret Service. So, it's a spy film, yeah, but it's not your average spy film. It honestly isn't. I love this movie. This is one of those movies which whenever I'm bored or whenever I want to watch a film but I don't want to watch a new film, I always stick on Kingsman. I always stick on this film because it's so enjoyable. I watched this film 30 times now, and each time I still enjoy it so much. Honestly, it's such an entertaining film and so clever as well. It's one of those films which it takes itself seriously, but at the same time, it doesn't. There are a lot of moments in the film that it would generally make fun of the film itself, or generally make fun of the spy genre in itself, and a lot of moments in the film where it actually takes itself seriously. Samuel Jackson actually says in the film that it's that sort of movie, and it isn't that sort of spy movie. It isn't the sort of spy movie where, the villain easily wins. Look at the Mission Impossible films and look at the Bond films. I'm just going to describe one of the plots from one of the Bond films or one of the Mission Impossible films and see if you can guess which plot I'm describing. Basically, we follow the protagonist, and he is trying to stop this evil leader, this guy who's got a big plan, an end of the world plan, or just an evil plan to stop something, or to kill loads of people, or just to do something very, very evil. And basically, the protagonist has to stop him, but in doing so, complications start to occur. He might have to go through other people, a lot of twists might occur, but ultimately, just as the villain's about to win, the hero ultimately wins in the end. What Bond film and what Mission Impossible film have I just explained? You know what I mean? But Kingsman, I haven't explained Kingsman. Kingsman is so much more clever and so much more smart and so fantastic to watch. It's so clever. It makes him a spy genre was actually keeping itself serious. It's not just a comedy film, although there is a lot of comedy in the film that works really, really well in my opinion. It's also a film that is serious and does, adhere to all those spy genre elements, but at the same time, doesn't. That's what I love about this film. I'm not going to go into full-on spoilers in case anyone hasn't seen it, which is watching this review. In the third act of the film, the villain actually gets his plan into work for the majority of the third act. It's one of those films which keeps playing on itself. Quite literally, there's actually a scene in the film where Eggsy is being tailored for a suit, but with Colin Firth's character, and they get in a small room, and Eggsy's like, so we go up or down, and then Colin Firth's character's like, neither, and then Eggsy's like, what, is this it? And then Colin Firth's character's like, of course not. Things like that in the film just show you how different Kingsman is, because it's not just your average spy movie. it's so much more. It's so fantastic, it's so clever, it's so well written, and the action sequences in the film are so well shot. I've talked about this on my channel before. I'm not a huge fan of action sequences in the film. In some films nowadays, I just get bored of action sequences, but I never in a Kingsman movie. If anyone's ever watched the Mathew Vaughn film before, most notably Kick-Ass, which also I think is an absolutely fantastic movie, he directs like so distinctive and such amazing action sequences, which every time you watch, I'm just like, wow, how did he shoot this? How did he edit this? Because it's so incredible. Like, editing and the way he shoots action sequences and the way the action sequences are edited in his films are so incredible. Whenever you see a Kingsman action sequence, you just know, you just got a huge smile on your face. Just know, yeah, this is an action sequence from a Kingsman movie. Say what you will about Kingsman the Golden Circle, and I will in my Kingsman the Golden Circle review, which is going to be an interesting review. But say what you will about the second film. Even that film had some damn entertaining action sequences. But this one has some, oh my god, oh, absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to say one scene, and if you've seen the film, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. The church scene. But yeah, things like that, and I'm going to talk more about the scenes a bit later. But first of all, I'm just going to talk about the moment I knew I was going to love this film. The first two opening scenes. The first opening scene of the film, it's just an average, you know, spy opening. But the thing is, it had Money for Nothing playing at the start of the film. Money for Nothing played by Dire Straits, which is one of my favourite songs. And when I was playing at the start of the film, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to love this film. I love that song so much. And then, in the second scene of the film, you had a scene between Samuel Jackson and Mark Hamill. And because I'm a nerd, when we got to the scene, I was like, Luke Skywalker and Mace Windu. And I got to that scene the first time, I was like, Mace Windu and Luke Skywalker. I was like, oh. But yeah, just things like that, which made me know I was going to love this film. Like, it's almost like Mathew Vaughn was playing on that whole idea of it. But yeah, I think Mathew Vaughn is an absolutely incredible director, and he directs such fantastic action sequences in his films, and he directs some memorable scenes in his films as well. Like, I'm just going to say some scenes out loud here, and if you've seen the film, you know exactly what scenes I'm talking about. The bar scene, the skydiving scene, the train scene, the dog scene, the church scene. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what scenes I'm talking about. You cannot deny you know exactly at least 4 out of 5 scenes I've just said. You will. They're so memorable. And it's one of the films I always go back to. Like, I don't even know if I've had one of these films before. It's just one of those films which sometimes when you want to watch a film, but you just want a fun film to watch, you always go back to one film in particular. That's how I feel about Kingsman. And what I love so much about this film is also the cast, and the fact that we have Colin Firth, other than The King's Speech and The Tale of Soul Spy, he hasn't really done any films like this, and to be honest, those films aren't really like this either. Like, this is a fun action film, and he plays a secret agent, this, you know, relatively old secret agent that's damn good at fighting, and basically, look at his filmography before this, you know, the Bridget Jones films, you know, Love Actually, and other romance and rom-coms and stuff. Romance films, that's what I mean, that's what normally what he did before this. Kingsman the Secret Service, he is so goddamn fucking awesome in this film. The church scene with Colin Firth is absolutely incredible. He's so good in this film. He really is. Honestly, this is my favourite performance from Colin Firth. I must admit I haven't seen The King's Speech, but this is my favourite performance from Colin Firth. He's so great in this film. He really is. Taron Egerton's also great in this film. I think this is the first film that gave Taron Egerton his big break. Like, after this film, he went on to go and do Eddie the Eagle, which, by the way, is a delightful film. He went on to go and do Robin Hood, which is, as well as that, he also went on to do Rocketman, which was, you know, he was considered for Oscars for that film. And, you know, this was a film that really got his career going, and he is brilliant in this film. Honestly, this film is so directed, it's so well paced, in my opinion. I'm not going to say it's a flawless film. I know it's not a flawless film. I know this film has problems. I'm not going to say it's the most brilliant film I've ever seen, because I know this film does have problems, and it does have some big issues, in my opinion. But you know what? That doesn't bother me. Because when I sit down to watch a film, I know I'm not sitting down to watch, you know, the next Joker or Parasite. I know I'm not sitting down to watch an almost flawless film. And this film has got a lot of flaws. But it's so clever, it's so original, and it's just so unique, and it's so goddamn enjoyable. The action set pieces and the action scenes in the third act of the film are fucking spectacular. If anyone's seen Kingsman, you know, that's a reference to Kingsman. Honestly, the third act of the film, like, I'm not going to give it away in case people haven't seen this film. But there's one bit in the third act of the film, which all I'm going to say is exploding heads. And you know exactly what thing I'm talking about. Up to that point in the third act of the film, it became, you know, it was quite serious and everything. There was a lot of serious moments in the film. Then we just got to that scene, it was just like, Mathew Vaughn just sat there and, you know, we've had all these serious moments now, you know, let's make people laugh a bit. From then on onwards, in the final act of the film, you just have these fight sequences with Give It Up playing in the background, you know, Give It Up. Baby, give it up. You just have that playing in the background, and it's absolutely fantastic. Honestly, if you've seen the film, all I'm saying is exploding heads, and that's, you just know what thing I'm talking about in the third act of the film. It's fucking spectacular. God, I love the film. I really do. I watch a film like once every 3 months. Maybe not that precise, but around those lines. Each time I just enjoy it so much. The action scenes in this film are so indescribably fantastic. I've watched this film like 30 times now, and I never get bored of these action sequences. Honestly, they're so absolutely fantastic. fantastic. I know it's not a flawless film. I know this film has problems. I get that. But it's a goddamn awesome film to watch. It really is. This film does make fun of itself, but at the same time, it does have a serious aspect to it. The whole thing with Eggsy's mother, you know, she's in an abusive relationship, that's a serious aspect to it. At the same time, you have this part of the film that just, it makes fun of itself. Like the whole thing with Samuel Jackson's villain being a villain, but being afraid of blood. That's so clever, you know. Things like that, which work so well in the film. This film is original, it's clever, it's unique, and it's unlike, it's my favourite spy film, because it's unlike any other spy film that I've ever seen before this. And that is why I love Kingsman, The Secret Service. On an enjoyment level, I must admit, if I'm watching this with a critical eye, I wouldn't rate this as high as I'm gonna, but on an enjoyment level, I'm saying it's a 9 out of 10. The only thing that I would call in terms of enjoyment is the last 5 minutes, or the last 2-3 minutes. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the film. Yeah, did we really need that? All in all, I enjoy about, what, 98% of the film. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fantastic. You know, Eggsy's one of those characters which start the film, you don't really like him, so he's the protagonist. And then later on in the film, you're not necessarily forced to like him, but you just kind of do. You just kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm really liking this character now. Everyone's great in the film. Michael Caine's great in the film. Mark Strong's great in the film. Samuel Jackson, he's great as a villain. A villain that doesn't like blood and doesn't like killing people. That's a good villain in my opinion. All in all, on an enjoyment level, I'm going to say that Kingsman: The Secret Service is a 9 out of 10. For me, when I sit down and watch the film, I know I'm going to enjoy myself for however, like 2 hours, over 2 hours, or only 2 hours, however long this film is. I know I'm going to sit down, I know I'm going to enjoy this film, and that's what I take from it. All in all, if you haven't watched this film, what are you waiting for? I'm actually jealous that you get to watch the film for the first time if you haven't watched it yet. I love this film so much, and for that reason, I'm going to give this film a 9 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of Kingsman: The Secret Service? Do you love it to hate it? Or have you just not watched it? And if not, why not? Please do comment below and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Seriously, why haven't you watched this film yet? If you're into like action films especially and you just haven't watched Kingsman, why? You're missing out so much. Honestly, you are. Honestly, the action scenes in the film are so fantastic. And I'm not a fan of action films, but damn, this film's entertaining. And it's a spy film, but not because it makes fun of itself, but it does have a serious aspects. But at the same time, it's so funny. The comedy in the film works so well. Performances are great. It's a fucking spectacular film. No, it really is. I love this film so much. And if you haven't watched this film yet, I'm actually jealous because you get to watch this film for the first time. It's so incredible. I love this film so much. Honestly, if you haven't seen the film yet, go and watch it. It's so good. Honestly, it really is. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on this video, and look forward to many more, both film and TVs, and my view of Kingsman: The Golden Circle, coming very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, but bye for now. Bye!